Hello and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. I really do appreciate it. And this one, we're going to be covering the recent Impact pay-per-view from the 13th, 13th of March 2021. That was called Sacrifice. And it was a very, very good pay-per-view. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Opening matchup was Decay versus Reno Scum. Now, it's great to see Reno Scum back in Impact Wrestling again after they've been away for so long, obviously because of the pandemic, because of little things happening. Yeah, you're not always going to have a chance to be there, but it's great to see them back. And of course, Decay now have a third member in Black Taurus, and it was Black Taurus and Crazy Steve, accompanied by Rosemary versus Reno Scum. And this was actually quite a good opening tag match. I like both teams, so I can't really pick which one was favourite in this one, but I enjoyed the exchanges, the unique offense by Crazy Steve in this one. It's always good to see. And Reno Scum, you know what you're going to get. They're brawlers, but they're also very good brawlers, and they have a very unique symmetry with each other and very, very good offense as well. And you know, DK, honestly, I have said it before, probably one of my favourite factions in wrestling right now because of just how unique and different they are. And with Black Taurus, it just adds a unique element. It was always more or less Crazy Steve and Rosemary, but now you've got Black Taurus, and it just works, and it's great to see. And this was, as I said, a very good opening tag match, so definite thumbs up to all four involved. And next match was Kelly with a K and Tennille Dashwood versus Jessica Havoc and Nevaeh. And this has been building a little while, this feud between these people. And this is a fun little tag match, to be fair. It wasn't the longest tag match, to be fair. It was quite short. But sometimes you don't need a long tag match to tell a story, and you didn't in this one, to be fair. And it was good to see Tennille Dashwood get the win, because she started to change things up a little bit in Impact Wrestling. She's starting to be more of a serious wrestler, even though she was being more about the all about me kind of thing. She's starting to leave it a little bit behind, and it's actually good to see because she's a good wrestler. And I enjoy Caleb with a K because he's such a sleaze. So I say, such a suck up, as shall we say. This is always a bit of a sleaze too, but in a good way. It's entertaining, and of course, I've said it before. Nevaeh and Havoc are two of my favourites. So, thumbs up. The next match was Violent by Design, which is Joe Doring and Dina versus James Storm and Chris Sabin. Also, and they were accompanied by Jake Something. Again, a feud that has been building a little bit recently on Impact Wrestling, but a good feud. And this was a good tag match, to be fair. I enjoyed this one a lot. Because I really like what Violent by Design are doing at the moment. They're starting to, a bit more intense in what they're doing. And of course, James Storm and Chris Sabin, you know we're going to get with those two of the most infamous and best tag team wrestlers in any era in Impact Wrestling, of course. We all know the history. The Motor City Machine Guns with Chris Sabin, AMW and Beer Money with James Storm. And they just work as a tag team, James Storm and Chris Sabin. It's great to see them continuing on the trend, shall we say. But the ending to this match is what really caught me off guard. Brian Hebner, the referee, was out of commission for the moment. And then Rhino came in. And of course, those who remember watching Impact Wrestling know that Rhino was taken out by Violent by Design. And they also took out... Darn it. Heath Ledger, that's it. Heath Ledger. Took out Heath Ledger. Got to remember. Sorry, Heath Slater. Heath Slater, sorry, not Heath Ledger. Heath Slater. Of course, one of his tag team partner who was also taken out by Violent by Design. And you would think that he would go and basically Chris Sabin and Joe Doring were in the ring. Rhino was there, Chris Sabin was there. Good Chris Sabin, not Joe Doring. And you would have thought, But then again, it's just one of those situations you don't see coming. Rhino just aligning himself with Violent by Design, and very, very unique to see. And hopefully it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to continue with those four now. So maybe we're going to see some interesting things from Violent by Design. And I'm enjoying what they're doing at the minute. It's entertaining because, as I said, it's more intense, more starting to tell a bit more story of what they're all about, Violent by Design, and it's good work by all four members involved. So it's great. So thumbs up to that. The next match was a hold harmless match between Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. Now, hold harmless means basically no rules, and Brian Myers was a bit confused by that. Wondering what exactly it means. Thought it was basically just a submission match. No, it was not that. And I thought it was a very unique stipulation to this match. but it was a good match to be fair. And these two, I've had a little feud building in Impact Wrestling for a while now, and I enjoyed this one to be honest. Eddie Edwards, you can always rely on him no matter what he does in Impact. He's like the MVP of Impact Wrestling to be fair. Against Brian Myers, the most professional wrestler, and I like what he's doing with the eye patch, pretending to be injured, and he's like starting to play up to it a little bit, and it worked in this match. Both men put on a very decent match to be fair. I enjoyed this one quite a bit, and I couldn't really fault Eddie Edwards getting the win. It was the right call. So hopefully Matt Cardona will be back one day and get the match with Brian Myers. I think that's the match everyone wants to see in Impact Wrestling, to be honest. So, here you go, thumbs up to both men. Next match. From this point onwards, it was title matches all the way. So it was the Tag Team Champions, Impact Knockout Tag Team Champions, I should say. Fire and Flavor versus Kira, which is Kira Hogan and Tash Steele, versus Jazz and Jordan Grace. And all year, the Impact scene, knockout scene has been superb. This was no different. This was a cracking match, to be fair. I really enjoyed all four women's offense movement and the way they did things in this match. It was a very, very, very good match. And I said this before, the women's division in Impact Wrestling has been great. Women's wrestling this year has been great. This was no different. This was a superb match. And Fire and Flavor winning was the right call, even though Jordan Grace and Jazz are a great tag team. Because I think Fire and Flavor have a lot more still to offer as tag team champions. But I really, really, really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a good tag team match. So all four individuals just really showed what they can do. And I think this was probably Fire and Flavor's best match to Impact in Impact since I've seen them. And Jordan Grace, always reliable. Jazz, a legend. Everyone knows what she can do. And this was really good stuff. So thumbs up to all four ladies in this one. And the next match was TJP defending the Impact X Division Championship against Ace Austin, the number one contender. And when I saw this one advertised, I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be good. Oh, this was a very, very good match, to be fair. Ace Austin, the longest reigning before he had his first title run, was, because he did win the match, we'll get to that in a minute, was the longest reigning X Division champion ever. TJP also has held the belt for quite some time before he lost to Ace Austin in this match. But this was a superb back and forth match. And X Division action seems to have that as of late, the back and forth elements, and there's nothing wrong with that. This was a great example of what all four women, so both men can do, shall we say. But as X Division goes, as this year's gone with the X Division, it's been fantastic to watch, and this was no different. Both these men just put on an outstanding match for the X Division, and surprisingly, Ace Austin won. I was a little bit thinking TJP is going to have a longer reign, but no. Austin picks up the win, and out of nowhere too, which is kind of cool. But that's the kind of thing you like to see. You like to see some things that just pop out of nowhere, get the win, 1, 2, 3. So thumbs up to that. But as I said, the X Division this year has been superb, and this was no different. And I wouldn't mind seeing Ace Austin get a longer reign this time, because I rate Ace Austin quite highly. I think it's one of the best X Division wrestlers Impact have ever had. And there's no disrespect to any X Division wrestler they've ever had, because some of them have been, fantastic. X Division is what Impact kind of built their reputation as the TNA wrestling, as it was then called. That's what really, I think, got people talking about Impact Wrestling, or TNA was then called. And it's continued to be spoken of now with a superb X Division Championship match. So, Ace, TJP, good stuff. Next match was Deonna Purrazzo defending the title, the Knockout Championship, against ODB. Not the longest match on the card, I'll say that. But to be honest, let's talk about a mismatch of wrestlers. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo, perhaps the most gifted technical female wrestler in the world, against ODB, one of the most unique offensive women in the world in terms of wrestling. But again, this was a fun little match, to be fair. And I was so glad to see Deonna win and continue her reign, because I think she's a great champion. So good as a heel, but she's so good in wrestling as well. ODB, one of the most unique and most loved, beloved knockouts of all time. Everyone knows who ODB is that's watching Impact Wrestling. And I think, as I said, Deonna winning was the right call. And hopefully it's going to continue on with her reign, because I like her and what she's doing. But who's going to beat her? She's pretty much beaten everyone who is to beat in the women's division in the singles phase. So it's going to be interesting to see what continues on with her next reign. So, thumbs up to both ladies. Which brings us to the main event, the unification match. Moose, the TNA Heavyweight Champion, versus Rich Swann, the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. The winner of this match would have both belts unified. So, it means that would mean that the TNA World title will no longer exist. It would just be the Impact World title. And a lot of eyes were on this match because obviously a big unification match. Also, the winner of this match goes on to face Kenny Omega, the AEW World Championship at Impact's next pay-per-view, which is Rebellion, which is the 26th of April, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be title for title, so big match feels there. And as big matches go, this was another one, and this was excellent. I won't lie. You won't ever get a bet. Sorry, I know, tell I. I'm sorry, before I got to the main event, I've missed one out. That's the first time I've done that. I apologise. Okay. Alright, I'll continue onwards from where I was a minute ago. The next match after the knockouts, women's title. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, but hey, I'm going to keep it in a video because it's funny. But anyway, match after the knockouts championship match was the Good Brothers defending the Impact World Tag Team titles against Finjuice. Now, Finjuice are the newer tag team in Impact Wrestling, of course, been part of New Japan for a very long time. And it was a really good feud these two have had because obviously for those who know Japanese tradition, Good Brothers cut their teeth in Japan and basically were over there for a long, long time. Of course, everyone knows some of the very first members of the Bullet Club. And obviously for those who know Japanese tradition, if you're a new tag team, you kind of have to treat the veterans of Japanese wrestling with respect. Obviously, Good Brothers were there for a long time. Finjuice came in a little bit after the Good Brothers moved on, but of course, Good Brothers making fun of the fact, you were there now, you should be getting us drinks or something like that. And of course, Finjuice have been making fun of the fact because they've been in New Japan for a while now, for a long time too. Former tag team champions, actually. And this was a great match, and I really enjoyed the chemistry between all four men. You could tell that they had some really good ideas for this match, and it paid off. And I'm going to say it, Finjuice winning the belts, I'm going to call it an upset. And because Finjuice are like the newer tag team in Impact Wrestling, and I did not expect them to win this match and to win the belts, but they did, and I'm not complaining. I think it's a cool thing, and as I say, you do need things like this in wrestling to keep it interesting. It was very interesting to see them win the belts because I did not expect it. But as I said, Finjuice kind of had the old school tag team mentality, like paying tribute to all the great tag teams by doing tag team maneuvers that former tag teams like Demolition, Legion of Doom, or the Road Warriors, whatever we call them, used to do. And they actually won with the Doomsday device. So it was actually kind of a really cool throwback to the late great Road Warriors. But as I said, this was a very good tag match. And I said, I really like the chemistry, and the way they laid out this match was very, very well done because basically trying to isolate one particular member of Finjuice was the Good Brothers. Turned out the other way around. At the end of the match, they've got the pinfall, Carl Anderson, the Doomsday Device, and we have new Impact World Tag Team Champions, as I said, which I did not expect. But, as I said, sometimes you need that in wrestling. Thumbs up to all four men, spot on, very, very good match. Which brings us to the actual main event. Okay. I'll continue on from where I was earlier. Moose, the TNA World Champion versus Rich Swann, the Impact World Champion. And Moose, in recent months and weeks in Impact, has just been fantastic. He's really stepped up his game and shown what he can really do against Rich Swann, one of the most reliable and best Impact champions ever. And this was a superb match between two terrific athletes. And I've said it before, when I saw this one advertised in my head, I thought that is going to be good. This exceeded my expectations and was, I'm going to say, match of the night. And that's after some superb matches earlier on the card. I really enjoyed the chemistry between these two. The way they've been building the feud has been very, very well done. And they just let it all out in this match. And Moose kind of taking a shortcut using Rich Swann's hair against him was very, very unique. And kind of cool, but Rich Swann was also willing to get dirty, biting Moose, and it was really, really cool to see that because it's showing that the champion is not afraid to take one or two shortcuts himself. And I really enjoyed the finish of this match. Rich Swann getting the win out of nowhere, unifying the titles, and I think either way, whoever won this match was going to have a great match against Kenny Omega, but now it will be Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. Should Kenny Omega still be the champion come Rebellion? I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. Same with Rich Swann. I'm sure he will still be the Impact World Champion, but of course, all eyes are now pointing into next month's Impact pay-per-view, perhaps the biggest title match they've ever had. Obviously, tied for title, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And I personally am looking forward to seeing Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. That will be an absolutely brilliant match. But before we get to that, obviously, I tip my hat to both Rich Swann and Moose in this time match from last night. It was superb and really, really, really good. And Rich Swann is proven to be an Impact World Champion that knows how to put on a great match every time when he's in a championship match like this. And this was probably the biggest match of his career in terms of Impact Wrestling. But what a match it was. And I really couldn't fault either man. And Moose is continuing to shine brighter than he ever has done. So really, really couldn't fault that. So definite thumbs up to both men in this match. And that is the end of the review. Apologies for kind of like going off the wayside accidentally halfway through. Well, I say halfway through, 3/4 of the way through. But it's all in good fun, shall we say. But I said it before, Impact Wrestling this year has been great and they continue to be great. And I think all eyes are going to be watching them in the next few weeks. And of course on Rebellion. So it's going to be great to see what happens there. So keep up the good work, Impact Wrestling, and everyone involved. So there you go. And that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. Tongue-tie myself yet again. I'll see you all next time. But until that time, take care, everyone.